Hello. Now I'm going to cut, you see this piece here? Well, not on the outside, but the inside. I want to cut the material for that. So we're going to need, see the way that goes back there? It's like, it gets narrow at the bottom here. That's straight along there. So we need a piece. Definitely, because I'm going to do this, I'm going to show you how to do the scroll in a later one, another way of doing the scroll that goes round, that wraps round. So we're going to measure from, that should give us enough on there. You use a flexible tape measure, that helps. So here I've got one here, already in there. I'll show you. So you want to measure from there to the back. We go through. If I push it back, you can see the tape measure there where it goes through. Okay, so from there to the back, only instead of stopping there, I would like to just stop here on the back of that, actually, just in case I can get this up. I know it's difficult doing this and you have to put a seam along here, so I'm going to cut it to there anyway, which would be, when you look at it like that, to about there. Okay, so I've actually cut the square, so that's that way, and then same again, going that way down. Where's my tape measure? Flexible tape measure, and from here, that bar, give yourself plenty, and to I'm holding that there to a little bit past there, an inch past there, to give me enough. Alright, so I've done that, I've cut it out already. Here's the pieces. You want two exactly the same. So you see, it's quite big. And I'll place this on here like that, giving us enough room to wrap this around, because the wood stops here. So you need to come all the way down there like that. So we'll keep that in that position. Hang on, come over. So if I temporarily tack it to hold it in place, so that should be giving us, that give us enough. What about the back of that? Make sure I've got enough for the back. Don't forget it gets wider as you go up higher, so but give yourself plenty extra over. I'm just going to tack that in there temporarily. Here we go again. That's because I need to be, it's underneath, it's more difficult, you see. Gravity and all that. That's it. Leaving it out a little bit. Don't, because it's temporary, you want to be able to see that tack, zoom it in. I don't know if you can see it, but so it's easy to come out with our tack lifter. Yeah, because I want a seam that goes around here, so I'm going to mark that with chalk. How tightly does it? That's enough there. Always checking all the time, double check. I should hopefully be enough to go all the way that way. But once I've, that's it, marked it with some chalk. There's the higher stall here. There we are. It's usually with the same height as the actual bar that's there. So you've got a bar at the side. So I'm going to cut it. So I've done 2 marks there in pink. One there, one there. I'm going to cut the top part. So you could do it in one piece, but it's very difficult like that. Unless the material really stretches, you're not going to be able to do it. It's not impossible. Actually, that wants to come over a bit more because I can see already that's not going to be enough. Just in case, well, if I was to, but I think I'm going to put a panel in there so that it takes like a chunk of it out like that. So it needs to have a panel in it, like a seam. I mean, a seam. Yeah. I have done it before. It was so difficult. As I said. Right, so I haven't got a pattern to go by, you see. That's why it's I haven't got the old material to go by. Make sure that comes right over there. That's not right. That's got to be straight as well. Because if this had a pattern in it, if this was your final material, your pattern would want to go down that way, like that. Your pattern wants to go down that way on the back and along the middle of the seat, and like in the middle of that back part there. So yeah. Yeah, so I've got to carry on. I could afford to come over a bit more that way. Right, so I'm going to cut that. As difficult as it looks. That's it, that should be alright. That goes all the way along there. Yeah. Because I haven't got a pattern, I might need to cut it down a bit more than that, but this is roughly starting it off already. I'm going to come straight way across there. I wonder if I can pull that. Don't do that to your final material because it might not like it. Calico's doesn't mind it. Okay, this is calico. So that will now go through there eventually. Actually, because I've been quite cautious, that might want to come off a tad there a bit more, like that, at least down to there to the first mark. Good grief. Let's put another tack in, another couple of tacks, one there and one there. Make sure they don't move anywhere. This is only really if you haven't got a pattern to go by. But it's handy to know. Patterns deteriorate if the last fabric deteriorated. You couldn't get a pattern. Tack. Tack, tack. Where's me? There we go. I didn't even catch it. Could do it with the staple gun, but I don't really want to. Let me get the staple gun out. Oh, not yet. That's it. Oh, I've got a tack in there. No, I haven't stapled. This is just, I'll say it again, I'm just temporary tacking it. Right. Just because I get that. See, it holds it nicely for me. And that's quite alright. So it's nice and straight that way. It has to be straight. Otherwise your pattern, if there was a pattern in here, it would look odd. Okay. So cutting into the material, cutting into the chair, the bars at the back, what I call the bars, which is the wooden framework. You have to now feel, your hand in there. Because one, no, that's the bottom one here, right? Yeah, to the side, that's it. Yeah, there's a bar that goes along. Oh, should I turn it around? This bar, wooden bar along here, we want to, just want to get that out of the way. I'm feeling it so that I know, and here as well, there's the legs. Can you see the legs? Yeah, you can see one of the legs there. I need to feel the side of that and the bar here, or where that is, so I can cut towards that part there. Alright. Cut towards that part there. In fact, it's cutting towards the other part. I'm using. Yeah, this bar here. Can you see that bar there? Yeah. This bar here, I'm cutting towards there, and I'll be cutting there, so it wants to be that length, so it can come through. One way of doing it, take measure out. If I measure from there, to that leg to there, up the top of that bar, I've got 22. Right, anyway, 22. So remember 22, yeah? So the bar, you can see my finger there. That's what I'm feeling against there. So I'm going to cut towards that. Double check. So when I take my hand out, there it is, there. Well, I've pinched it. Mark it the chalk for a moment. so it's there. Don't even know if you can see it, but I hope you can. You should be able to. Just because I can't see it doesn't mean you can't. Especially if you zoom in. Can you see? Not like being in the classroom. Okay, I'm going to cut towards that. Well, just before I get to that, actually, because I'm being cautious now. Always be cautious. It's not good when your shoelaces come undone. Right. Okay, I've cut that. That will now go down. Also, remember we said 22. So from that cut, 22 inches from that cut along, I'm going to mark that with chalk. First of all, I'm not going to cut it yet until that's it, until I've felt it with my hand where the bar is. And I've got my finger on there. When I turn it round, you can see my hand touching the leg on the front bit there. That's where we want to cut it. Make sure that's in the right place. Yep. And that actually wants to come over a bit, actually. So that mark is not 100% right. Feel the bark, that's it, feel it again. Always double check. I think it's there, it is there. It's not far off it, well, it's about an inch away. Okay. See where I've marked it there? Hope you can see it. I'm going to bring the camera over. Oh, if I was to put my... So I can't see it when I look at the camera. Funny, isn't it? Anyway. Cut towards there. But be cautious before you get to that mark. Okay, always before that, at least 2 inches. Because that's going to go down anyway. Now I can put that in like that. Because if I need to cut it a bit more, then I can cut it a bit more. But that is that. So that's how you, that's it. And then that one will then go now through there. It'll come through this back piece. If I can get it in there. Get it in there. See, there it comes. I think I've probably got to cut it again. Yeah, I've got to cut it again. Take it back out again. So put another cut. Because that's a separate hole to the back. Can I do it? Yeah. So cut towards. Double check. Towards that leg, because it wants to go now through there to the bars above. Yeah, bars above. So like I say, I pinched it, I've marked it. Yeah, see, it's in a different place to where I'd and it wants to now be cut towards that way because it's going to go through that away. All right, so now I'm going to cut towards that way. Let me mark it first. Along there. Such a faint line. Oh. Anyway, you'll see it once I've cut it. There we are. Alright, we're cutting now towards that way, but be cautious. So, can you see? Where I've, yeah, so it's in the same spot. You can see that. So there's a bit like that. You end up with a bit like that. Like that. Alright, anyway, that's now got to go in that way. Because the bar behind is there. And I'm going to come round and finish that off in a minute and do it a bit more. Right, get that in. That now wants to go in there. Get my game. There you go. Oh, that's lovely. Right, okay. There we are. It's quite nice. Oh, we're left with a little bit here. Let's poke that through. That's looking better, isn't it? Right, so I'll put that now. There it is. Alright. And there's the bottom piece that's come through. Now the front, I forget, I've done two here, so one's going to go onto the other side. Now this here, that's why I kept the other side long, but I ended up cutting off, but I'll have to put it back on again, or cut this off and then just do it the same. Right, so that's cutting in round the bars, round the frame legs and things. Now, this bit here, that pulls round nicely, and I might need to cut that a bit more because I was quite cautious. I'm going to have to cut that up a bit more. Yeah, so it looks like it wants to go up a bit more. Go up a bit more. Because it wouldn't pull round. Okay, and then, right, can you say it? Yeah. So, it's good to be cautious though, always. Always. So, right, I'll cut it up a bit more now because now it's going to be a bit more snug. Snug. Let's get you there so you can see it. Now this front bit here, pull that round. I will be starting with, let me see, pull that down like that way, and I'll be starting with the top, getting all these temporary tacked first of all. And I like to have pleats going because it's going to be pleated round. I like to have pleats facing towards the outside so that your pleats end up down. I know they're up here though, or you could have it the other way. Up to you, because whatever you do, they end up, some end up upside down. So yeah. And then that bottom bit will go in, it'll end up in there all nicely like that, because that's what I want to do with it, but not with pleats. Okay, right, Alright, so I think that's another video. Yeah. Let's just cut that round smoothly over there though. You can see that goes down. It should really go across. Because I've got to cut that top bit now to fit. Okay, so you see where it's creased there? You don't want the crease in it, so if I put my finger up to there, that tells me where it wants to go to. So just cut it down until that crease goes like that. See the crease is coming out slowly. Could come out a bit more than that. See, in time, with experience, it will become easier. But I wouldn't advise doing a project like this for a beginner. At least do a drop-in seat or a dining room chair first, and a simpler chair, fireside chair, would be last, really. Okay, right, so that shows me where that's, hold it up, you can see it's flatter now. Yeah, that bit there. See where I've cut in there, and it's made this a lot flatter here. And I'm going to actually sew a piece on there before I permanently put this on. So there'll be one there and one on the other side. But I've got to make this piece first. It shouldn't be too difficult. This was the most difficult artist. Let's see, yeah, so that's where the seam's going to be. The seam's going to be coming around there-ish. Alright, if you can't see. Alright, anyway. Okay, next video. Until then.